Sәхибҗамал һәм Кәрим.
Hi everyone and welcome to Diversity Podcast. My name is Violetta and I'm Kalmyk as my ethnicity. My own ethnicity has prompted me to explore the question of identity and diversity further. So in this podcast I would like to explore diversity of society where I currently live, what identity means for other people coming from different backgrounds and for myself. We will talk about ways people were raised in different cultures and how their upbringing shapes their identity. My guest today is Humairaa, who is born and raised in Britain. I invited her since her identity is different from mine, and we will explore it further today. Hi Humairaa, thanks for joining me today.
Hey.
Hi. So, as I introduced the topic of a podcast, it's about identity and diversity.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask a few questions today. So could you tell us a bit more about yourself and where you come from in terms of your background?
So I was born and raised in Wales, but my parents, they're from a Pakistani background.
Mm-hmm.
So my mum's from Kashmir, which is between India and Pakistan. And my dad, he was born and raised in Pakistan. But my mum wasn't actually born in Pakistan. So yeah, anyway, they got married and then moved to the UK and that's me.
Okay, so your dad was born there, but your mom grew up here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Would you say you see yourself, because I know there is British-Pakistani and there is Pakistani, would you say you see yourself different from, let's say, Pakistani?
Yeah, definitely, because I've been brought up in the Western culture. So that's like I've been brought up around different minorities, different ethnicities, compared to like my dad's side, they still live in Pakistan. So my cousins there, they're different to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously the culture there is different.
Yeah, of course. Have you met them?
Yeah, I have. I think they last came down last year, I believe. Yeah, so they do come down, but like you can just tell that the cultures are different. They'll probably think that I'm like a coconut, but it's not. It's just
What does it mean, coconut?
Coconut, you know, like a coconut.
Like a snowflake.
You know, like how you're brown on the outside but you're white on the inside.
This one. I was like, what?
Yeah, so that's what a coconut is.
Okay.
Or an Oreo.
Okay, so they think you're white mentally.
Yeah, but it's not that. That's how I'm raised.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I've been raised. I wasn't raised in the whole Pakistani community. I'm raised with different people. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's a good one.
People.
I'm going to write it down. Do you feel that your ethnicity and the background of your family influenced your life in some ways, and in being who you are and defining yourself? Like, what is from an identity point of view?
Yeah. So like, my parents obviously they weren't born and raised in the Western media side, like the culture. So they tend to have their traditional side as well. So they brought it into when we were growing up. So like we like outside of like home, I experienced something else, and then like coming back to home, I'm taught to like I can see how other people are being brought up and how my parents are different. And obviously back when I was a child, I was very like envious of the other kids because they were more free, whereas my parents were more strict. Like, you know, you have to focus more on your education, and you know you can't go out partying because you're young and this, that, you know, just little things. And so now I'm grateful because it's kind of shaped me into the person that I am, and I feel more grounded because of it.
Okay, that's good. I understand. Do you think there are anything different from your background from other people, minorities, for example, the way you said you were brought up?
Yeah.
And were there particular, patterns of behavior or which your parents would expect from you, or would they project some expectations on you? Like they tell you, okay, you have to be this and this and this.
Yeah, well, because
you mentioned the bringing up, yeah.
Because I've come from a Muslim family as well, so that's been brought up into it as well. Whereas, like, you know, as a Muslim woman or a Muslim girl, you have to be modest, you have to be, you know, like my friends, they would have boyfriends, I'm not allowed to have a boyfriend, or, you know, stuff like that. And it's kind of shaped me into, like, seeing that.
It's a bad thing.
Well, yeah, like, you know, when you're young and then you're just jumping from people to, like,
of course.
Yeah, like the girls at my school, they would be crying or they'll be this, that. Me, I didn't have that problem because I wasn't having boyfriends or anything. So
okay, so you were not into drama because it wasn't just a part of your life.
Yeah, because like, you know, like heartbreak and stuff, it can mess you up, it can change you as a person, and blah blah blah. And I think that kind of, I don't know,
helped you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm waffling a bit.
Okay, I understand. I wanted also to bring up the religion because, well, you just slightly mentioned it. Maybe it's going to be doubling as well. So, but I'll ask anyway. Do you think in where your parents come from, obviously the religion plays a big part of big role?
Yeah.
And would you say you grew up and that played a big role as well, or you, because as you said, you're coconut, you would just absorb that, you filter whether you should be deep in that or like whether you should follow what your family tells you? Were you able to make a choice, or there was no choice?
Oh, so with my family, like, they didn't force me. Like, I've seen other girls where, you know, their parents were way stricter than mine.
Like arranged marriage?
Yes. Okay. My parents, like, they still let me do whatever I wanted to do. Like, if I had a hobby that, like, dancing or whatever, like, I would go to it, or, you know, going out with friends, birthday parties. Like, I wasn't restricted with that at all. The whole, you know, the hijab and stuff, like, my parents never they never even mentioned it, to be honest.
Right.
But I do know other, like, with other girls, like, at a certain age, they're forced to get married, and, like, my parents, they would say it to me, but they would never force me.
Okay.
Yeah, they could, and they know they could never force me.
Okay, so it was more liberal, like in terms of you could make your own choices, but you still have to be within particular
respect of the culture frames, and the religion. Yeah.
Okay, understand. But what about other, like, if you have other friends with similar backgrounds as yours? I guess in some it's more strict in some families, right? If a girl wouldn't have a choice, what happened then? Like, would she just has to obey, or she just run out of the house?
Well, there's actually a few situations where one girl, she would, like, with her family, she'd wear the whole hijab and everything, but then, like, she would lock her room at night, then she would jump out the window and she'd, you know, put on a skirt or a dress, and then she would go clubbing, drinking, do all that, all the shenanigans. But, like, I think...
What are the shenanigans?
Like... Oh, now you've put me on the spot.
Is it a word?
Yeah, it's a word.
Translation, you don't know. I don't know, it's fine. It's like the haram.
It's like, mischief.
Oh,
being silly and stuff.
Okay, I know, I heard that one.
But, like, I think that's why I'm a bit thankful with my parents. But I think because they didn't restrict me like how you do hear about, like, in the news and stuff, I think that's shaped me as a person where I...
You mean in the news how girls run out and, like...
Yeah, they would, like, go behind their, like, beliefs, their religious beliefs, basically. Yeah. But, like, I think because of how my parents, they didn't force me to do anything. So that's why, like, with me now, I'm more respectful of my culture and my religion.
Yeah, and also because you were not restricted as much. You didn't go to extreme, Yeah, okay, understood. I guess we already touched this as well, but I want to ask, what what are your people like in terms of like mentally, culturally, and whether you find any similarities with British culture?
Well, like with British Pakistanis compared to British people, I think with British Pakistanis, they're like, they tend to stick to one another. So their like culture,
like within the community, you mean?
Yeah, they don't tend to branch out into other communities. Like it's rare to get like a, I mean, I think it's the generation now they are, but like the older generation, like the generation before me or the people older than me, they tend to stick to their own. Even some like people now, they probably tend to stick to their own anyway. But I think it's deep rooted from our culture anyway. It's not changed that, like there are some values that have changed and stuff, but not drastically.
Okay, so you would say it's still the same, like apart from like younger generation probably they date more, like more diverse groups of people.
I think like with like young, like let's say younger British Pakistani, I think they're more open to I don't know personally, but I think they're more open to the whole Western, you know, letting them have guy friends and...
Yeah, but generation of your parents, for example, they wouldn't mix much, right? Or they would?
No, the generation, they wouldn't mix much. So they would tend to stick. So like my parents, when they moved to Wales, they moved with my dad's sister and her husband and family. They moved first. My dad followed, and then they created this like all the Pakistani
like a community.
Yeah, so they've known each other since they've all moved to Wales.
Oh right.
Yeah, so like.
So there's other people as well.
Yeah, because my uncle, he was the first Pakistani in Swansea.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was.
Oh wow, so there are not many Pakistani
there wasn't.
people
Back
there.
then there wasn't, but now like with the Pakistani community in Wales, well in Swansea, that's where I'm from in Wales.
It's extended, yeah, now.
Yeah, like there are loads now, but back then like we kind of all knew each other.
Back then, you're talking like 30 years ago or more.
I'm probably when I was a child.
All right.
Yeah,
in your childhood.
But now like it's more diverse Swansea, but back then there wasn't that many Asian people.
Since we mentioned your childhood, have you seen similar people like to you growing up ethnically? Because you said your uncle was the first one, so I guess not much, right? So like growing up, within maybe white dominant place, have you like questioned from young age, or you never questioned like who I am, what is my identity, and like why maybe I don't see other people like myself?
Yeah, when I was so where I was from in Wales, in Swansea, it's predominantly white. So when I was in school, I was the only literally brown. We didn't even have... I was the only Asian.
No, even Indian people?
No Indian. There was no black people.
No Asian like me?
There was...
Chinese?
There was, but they were white.
Not
like
brown,
skin colour.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was the only dark.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was quite dark as a child. I did feel... I wouldn't say I hated my skin, but I did wish I was lighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it got to a point where when I went to high school, there was a few Pakistani girls, but not a few, probably like one. Or two.
Like in high school,
in my year,
it was more diverse already. Yeah, but not as much.
Not as much. Like probably like only 5% was Asian.
Okay.
And like 1% was black. Okay. I could say that. Yeah, when I was in high school, but even the other Pakistani girl, she was darker than me, and she was wearing lighter makeup than me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I could tell that like it wasn't. And it is.
But
like,
you were wearing light makeup as well.
I was wearing light makeup as well.
Right.
I would
Do
wear.
you have pictures of it?
No. I literally deleted every single picture. I was like, no way, I'm saying.
Okay.
But it literally got so bad. It was the colour that I was wearing would even be too light for you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really? How old were you?
I think I was in year 8 or 9.
Like 15, 14?
about 12, 13.
Oh, you wearing makeup at 12? Nice.
I think it was the funny thing. It wasn't proper makeup how we do it now. It was literally like
I know,
foundation just everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just have like a ghost.
Apart from this, like girl which you just mentioned, like, is it a common thing even now? You think
what
for some maybe brown girls to do lighter makeup? Is that the thing still? Do you think, or it depends like where people are, like where that it's a dominant place or not?
I know, like the older generation, they love light skin colours. Like I think it's deep rooted from any culture.
Colonialism.
Yes.
Do you think it's
I
connected
think
to
so.
colonialism? Yeah.
But I know like my aunties, one of my cousins, she got married a few years ago, and she got married to a Pakistani man who was like really light. He's your colour.
But he's
like
Pakistani,
he's really light. Yeah, but he's Pakistani, and it's rare. Like when there is a Pakistani who is like really light, they're like.
It's like a blue blood
effect.
Like a
like
aristocrat.
You're so beautiful. Oh my god.
Oh, really?
And
why is it? Is it like in India caste system? Is it something?
Yeah,
like that?
there's still caste. Yeah, they hate dark skins.
No, but even in Pakistan.
Yeah, Pakistan.
Oh,
India,
really?
Yeah.
I thought it's only Indian thing. Like
No.
you know, like the darker you are, like it's not.
No, it's the same as Pakistan.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh right, that makes sense now.
Yeah, even Bengalis as well. And you know, my auntie would be like, "Oh yeah, he's nice. He's really nice and light." And I'm like,
Oh really?
doesn't matter that.
Even your like relatives say this thing.
like, but she's like in her 70s. My
Oh
auntie.
right.
Yeah.
She has a very different mentality.
And she even still wears white makeup. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So I know it's a deep rooted thing from back in the day with skin color and bleaching and white, looking like having whiter skin is better, seen as more beautiful. But
but the same for me. Like I wanted in school. We even had this Korean product. It's called like. It's like a tape you put on your eyes, and you have like a fake lid, you know, eyelid.
I've seen that, yeah.
And like I would buy it, and we do it like even my friends in school. It was just, I'm thinking about it now, like it's just so bad.
Crazy,
it's
yeah,
like
it is.
everyone wanted to have big eyes.
Yeah.
Well, at least me for sure. And these girls who I knew were doing it, and it was like. It's considered that you're beautiful if you have big eyes. Like back in my school years, but obviously I have not had Instagram or like TikTok or YouTube to look at like other Asian, I don't know, models or
I get you.
people. But do you think it's better now, like in terms of for younger girls?
Definitely. I think now everyone, there's more self-love, and there's more like loving yourself, loving how you look, whatever colour you are, whatever feature you have, just to love yourself. And there's more people accepting darker colour, and more people seeing how darker is beautiful, just as beautiful as being light.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was seen as a bad thing.
But it's not that long ago, so it's like just 10 years ago, right?
It wasn't that long ago at all.
Okay, so since we talking about this, the next question would be, when was the first time when you understood and saw yourself different from like people around you? Maybe, well, I guess it's in school, right? I answered my question. And like when it happened, like what questions did you ask yourself apart from having you wish you had whiter skin?
I think I've always known, even before when I was in primary school, I always knew. It was when I was in primary school as well. On the weekends, my mum would take me to Quran class. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, and like
the mosque.
Yeah, to the mosque. Sorry, and you'd have to wear like an abaya and like a hijab.
What is abaya?
Like it's just like a long dress. Basically,
right.
Yeah,
Covers everything.
Yeah. So where like it was our old house, but it was like a tight knit community, and there was an Indian family, but they were like westernized, like white. Westernized. Then they were all white, and then to get
in the mosque.
No, in the house.
Oh, in the house. Sorry.
No, in the neighborhood. Sorry. And on the way to the mosque, my mum would put my mosque clothes on, put my hijab on, and I'd be so embarrassed to leave the house to get in a car.
Really?
That's so bad, isn't it?
Yeah. How old were you?
I think I started going from when I was 5.
You were embarrassed because of like the clothes and the hijab.
Yeah,
and your
because
mom...
I knew I was different to everybody else.
Oh, right.
Because it's rare to... Because I was in a predominantly white area.
Yeah, it's rare to have a Muslim.
Yeah.
But that's only like once per week, something.
Yeah, it was every weekend. I would take it off and I'd just put it in the car, or if I had it on, I would like hide and run into the car. It's so bad. Now thinking about it, it's sad.
Well, you were little, you didn't understand it.
Exactly, but it's I should have been more appreciative.
Well, you're 5 years old. You can't blame yourself. Would you say your parents tried to explain to you, like, if they saw you doing it, like, you're not feeling comfortable wearing hijab? Do you remember whether they tell you like why we wear it and why we go to the class?
Obviously, I knew why I should wear it and stuff. I think it was more self-acceptance.
Oh, okay.
Like, I didn't accept myself because I wanted to be like all my friends in school, because they would have blonde hair, blue
That's
eyes.
Like throughout the school years, not just in primary school.
No, it would happen throughout school. And even like when we went to the mosque and we'd have our like class in the mosque, like me and my brothers, mum would go home and pick us up later, and it was by town and it was on a main road, and I'd be so embarrassed to come out wearing my clothes as well, because it was like on a busy road, everyone can see you.
Right.
And literally I'd wear like my like jeans and a t-shirt, or shorts and a t-shirt underneath, and as soon as I'd get in a car, I'd rip it off, and I'd be like, I'd pretend it never happened, and I wasn't like, I'd feel so embarrassed that I was wearing it.
Wow.
I know.
Well, I understand though, like, cause, like no one else were there like you, so like I understand. And you want to, I think you want to be a conformist when you're small, you know, like you want to follow the crowd.
Exactly.
Like, and I'm happy we changed this mindset when we grew up.
I think it's due to social media. Like now you see more people loving their culture, loving their religion.
Yeah, embracing everything.
Embracing everything. So now you're like, okay, you know, there's people like me. Yeah. So why I shouldn't hide?
Why I shouldn't love that, right?
I should be confident and proud.
But when you were doing these classes and going to the mosque, did you go to the mosque all your life?
I think it was only till I was... It was just in primary school.
So it was just for the classes.
Yeah.
But did you enjoy the classes themselves?
No.
Like when you were doing it? Did you feel forced?
No, it wasn't my parents forcing me. It was... How do I explain?
It wasn't a part of a school, right?
Huh?
It wasn't part of a school. Or
no, it was like it was just a part of the mosque. So the mosque, they have like it's a Quran class.
Okay.
So you read the Quran.
So your parents just put you there.
Yeah, they paid for me to be there.
Okay.
Basically.
Why did you enjoy it?
I mean,
no one. Some people enjoyed it, right? Or not?
No, I think
they were all children, yeah.
I think
you were very young.
I think if you were British Muslim, back in that day, in the early 2000s, I swear everyone back then would understand how bad Quran class was. It was just crazy. I don't know what it was. There was, how do I say it? No, I can't. It sounds bad.
It's okay.
No. It sounds like a bit like neglectful. Not me. Like the people there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
They would like slap and stuff. It was bad.
Slapping?
Yeah.
Oh, there was abuse. Are you laughing? It's not funny.
I know it's not funny, but it was stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not bad abuse.
Yeah, I know.
Discipline. It was discipline.
Yeah, I know, but still it's physical a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It happens, but obviously now we live in era of new ethics, and some people say like, oh, okay, you can't define abuse or what it is abuse, like when it's a touch or slap, but I still think it is for children, because I have like one girl I was talking to, she told me similar experience, but like the teacher was like beating them for like doing something wrong. Not beating, but like, you know,
like
the
cane?
stick, you know, the cane, and like just for the discipline as well. But to the extent that it hurts.
Wow.
So like I don't know, but slapping might hurt. It depends.
It was hard.
Well, did your parents know about that?
No.
No?
It was like basically like you're reading to the they call it like a Molvi or Imam or whatever. We were reading to someone who knows the Quran, and it was this old man. He's an old man, and then it was with his son who was old as well. And like me and my brother went up together, and
An old man, like a teacher.
Yeah, teacher, sorry. So yeah, he was a teacher. He was really old. His son was old, so you could tell they're like religious and strict and blah blah blah. Like they know their religion, and we have to read to them, and like they'll like correct us if we're mispronouncing because it's in Arabic. And my brother, because he was sitting next to me, he'd be like annoying me on purpose, like just you know,
Just
like the
playing,
siblings, yeah. And I started laughing, and then he slapped me, the teacher,
On the face.
Yeah, because he thought I was laughing, just being silly, but he didn't know that it was because my brother was punching me.
Wow, did you cry?
Yeah, I was crying. And
Did it happen only once? Or
no, he only slapped me once, yeah. But I know with other people, he's like slapped. Like, yeah.
Several times.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
These-
So the children, they don't say these things to their parents.
I remember one time, they were quite young, but like, because you pay every week you come, you have to pay for the week.
For the lessons.
Yeah, for the lessons. And this one, they were younger than me, and I was there when I was in primary school. So I don't know how, about 5 or something. They forgot the money. And obviously the kid was panicking, and he only had 5p. So he gave him 5p, and then he slapped him.
For the wrong money amount.
Yeah. Just because he's like, wow, why are you giving me 5p?
That's adult man, right?
Yeah, it was an old man.
Why would he slap children?
I don't know. And I think that's why I hated it, because it was a negative impact
Obviously,
on
it's
religion.
not-
Yes,
It's not negative impact, it's trauma, like.
Exactly,
Trauma.
but
Because you're supposed to like learn there and like
yeah,
sort
like this
of
is your
enjoy
religion
it.
that you're supposed to love. And then obviously now I've grown up, I've realised
That doesn't
abuse
define the religion.
yeah, that's not what you're actually meant to do anyway. Like what he was doing was sinful.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of my religion. He was just a psychopath.
Yeah, but for I guess your childhood, you was thinking like this is what is most like Islam about. Yeah,
I think the way he was disciplining us was was cultural rather than, obviously it's not religion, but it was more cultural.
and it's crazy because now we understand it's abuse, but I guess when you're a child, like you wouldn't even want to talk about it, right? Like you wouldn't, because it's very negative, and you sort of try to block this. But yeah, I understand. That's interesting. Very interesting example. I wanted to ask you, maybe you sort of answered already, like if you think that your ethnicity and where you're coming from impacted your further development and mentality, like the way, well, obviously you said you feel more grounded and grateful, but how you see yourself in society and how you are developing as a person, do you think it plays a role, that your ethnic background, or it doesn't, or you're more like you're into different things, you are open-minded, or you still have some, oh no, this is not for me because I'm from there and there and there?
I know like how like with my culture as well, we're very people pleasing.
All right.
So I think that's where I'm a big people pleaser.
You are?
Yeah.
So I think it comes from your culture?
Yeah, it definitely comes from my culture. Well, to what I've seen with my parents, like, you know, they'll go all out for a guest or somebody or whatever. And
that's not just Pakistani though, like you're talking about,
it
like
could be
Middle
any
East,
culture. Yeah.
Like any culture in Middle East or where?
I'm not sure.
Just
generally. I know Middle Eastern people are like that as well, because like my Arab friend, she's like that. She's more of a people pleaser than me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so and my parents, they've taught me to be humble, and even like with money and stuff, like they've always told me, like, working and money, being greedy, like that's not life. And like they've always wanted me to be like top like with my job and stuff, just so I can be comfortable. And yes, they've really humbled me. So.
Yeah, that's good. When you said people pleaser, did you mean in a good way or like not very?
It can be good and it can be bad, because it's obviously it's not bad to be nice.
Yeah.
So,
but like you don't forget about yourself as well.
Exactly, and on top of that,
I think you can forget about yourself in some ways, no?
Yeah, definitely, and you can be too nice to someone that's ungrateful.
But you feel it, or you don't?
You do feel it, and then it makes you feel a bit bad. Like, okay, I've gone over and under for someone who didn't give a crap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think it's a nice, like, something nice to take, because like now, I mean, obviously when you're younger, maybe you're not as good as managing your like emotions and the way you are with other people, but now you, for example, you know, I'm a people pleaser, but I can control it, you know. So I think it's a good, like, if you use it for your benefit, like just to be a nice person, it's not that bad. But it's a nice thing to take from your culture. It's interesting. I thought you're gonna say some different things, but it's
what
interesting.
Did you expect me to say?
I don't know, just like life, relationships, work.
Oh yeah, I don't talk about that.
But
No.
Do you think your parents tried to push you to be like, because obviously how I don't know much about Pakistani culture, like I just know general things like that, the religion and language and everything, and also that the sense of community is strong. Do you think your parents in some ways they try to you mentioned that they didn't force you to do arranged marriage, and like for me arranged marriage is something very unknown, because the way I grew up, I didn't really have close Muslim friends, but I just generally knew that there are different rules from my religion, for example. And when like I heard some stories about arranged marriage, some of them were like extreme, some of them like more modern, and like it's just the dating, you know. And you said that your parents didn't force you, but do you still feel like they pushed some agenda in terms of like how your work should be and how your marital status, how you should be married to whom? Do you think they try to set some like bar for you or something like this?
Yeah, they definitely did. Like with marriage, like how they want me to be married is from word of mouth of someone, or like let's say like my auntie be like, oh, there's this nice guy, good Pakistani guy, this is his job, his family are nice.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Have they tried to set a dates or something?
Not dates.
Not to that extent.
They've sent me stuff like in the past, like, oh, look at this guy, he's got a bachelor degree and this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm just like, my mum sends it to me. Like, she used to send it to me, and I used to be
send it to you?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like in the messages?
So basically there's this group chat, and you
find a husband.
Yeah. I know. And it's like Muslim people, or it could be just Pakistani people.
For community.
Yeah. And then so like people put their profiles, but
really?
It's mainly.
Is it for arranged marriage? Or just for dating?
It's not really arranged, because like arranged, it's not really arranged because you see the person.
You might not like
you can, and then you can decide if you want to get to know or whatever, you're interested. But the group chat is mainly the people's parents. The only children that are in there are the ones that are desperate.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like they can't get married, they can't. That's what I see anyway. Because I've gone on the group chat because my mum has it on her WhatsApp, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so cringe.
But children don't know that they're there, or they know that they're there.
Some do. Like one of my good friends who's Pakistani, she told me that one time because her mum did the same thing to her, and about this guy from the group chat. So she was like, you know what, to shut her up, she was like, okay, I'll speak to him, give me the number. And then literally she took the number. He had no clue that his mum put him in the group chat.
All right.
And
she was like, how do you have my number?
Yeah. He had a girlfriend, she had a boyfriend that the parents didn't even know that they had.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then he said he only agreed to it because his mum wouldn't shut up with him as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
I never knew about things like that.
Yeah, and she even told me stories where some people are gay and they're like hiding with their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's That's a completely different topic. But yeah, there's just so many stories.
So about the gay thing, it's not okay as well?
No, it's not really accepted in my culture at all. Yeah. I think it's very, very, very rare for a Pakistani person to accept like their gay child. It will be very, very rare. But
do you know anyone?
I'm not going to say who it is. It's someone that I know that is gay. Everyone in the family knows is gay, but he hasn't admitted it. But his parents are really strict. I think they're blindsided for the fact that he's gay.
You mean he hasn't admitted to himself or to...
He's admitted to himself, not to anybody.
Not to the family, yeah.
But he's admitted it to to friends.
It's a rare thing, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that he would just have a girlfriend. Like, he will get married anyway just because... to please his parents.
To get married?
Yeah.
Really?
To a girl. He would just get married, even though he's gay.
Just to this extent?
Yeah, I know he will just get it to please his parents. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They do that?
Yeah, they do that.
And then, they can divorce, or they cannot?
Maybe he'll, cheat on men, I don't know.
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
I don't know.
So,
yeah,
basically, it is so strict that people wouldn't talk about it, but even they go to the extra mile to get married.
Yeah, also a lot of Pakistani the kids, because if they have really strict parents, they'd rather just go with their parents because the stress of disobeying their parents, it outweighs the benefit of them just leaving. Do you get me?
Enjoying their life?
Yeah. So I think they would just rather obey it because it's just easier for them.
Is it common that people they leave their families because they have different values?
I've heard a few stories. It's not really... I think it's coming more common now.
Because a more rebellious, yeah, people.
Yeah, and people are more free.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So they pushed you a lot. Obviously, you said they wanted you to get a good education, work, and be independent. But at the same time, they wanted you to have this picture perfect community marriage.
Exactly, yeah.
From the WhatsApp group.
But obviously, it's some people will be like, oh no, you have to marry this person, otherwise disown you or whatever. Or some people will be like, oh, this person's really good, then you're like, no, and they'll respect your no. So it just depends on who. Yeah, it's not everybody, but it just depends.
But the arranged marriage is still a thing.
It's still a thing. Community. Yeah, some people I know my uncle, you know the one I was telling you who's
the first in Wales. Yeah.
So when he got married to my auntie, so she was still in Pakistan. She was 19, and he was already in Swansea. They were both, I think, 19, and he was 20.
Oh, they had arranged marriage.
Yeah, they had arranged marriage, but they had they got married over the phone.
Over the phone?
Yeah, and they never... He didn't even see a picture of her.
Because there was no WhatsApp and no Instagram.
Yeah, no, nothing. It was over the phone.
How did they get married like this? Because they wanted to please their parents.
You know the religious wedding?
Oh, yeah.
Nikah. The nikah, yeah. So they got married over the phone religiously.
All right.
And then she came from Pakistan to UK. He met her at the airport, and that's when he saw her for the first time. Sadly, she's passed away.
All right.
But he still loves her.
Oh, so it worked out.
Yeah. And he was telling us the story, on her funeral. And it was so sad because he was we never knew this story until it was her funeral.
You knew the story about the phone?
Marriage. The marriage.
All right.
And then he showed us the picture of when she came, and she was like, look how beautiful. When she came, I was like, oh my god, she's the most beautiful person ever. And he fell in love straight away. And I know,
that's amazing. Yeah. That's a good example of arranged marriage.
I know, but
right? The phone is interesting. So basically their parents made them meet each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that time he was not allowed to say no, or he was? Woman probably couldn't say no.
No. They were probably just okay, there's this good man, he's in UK, he'll help you get to the UK kind of. I think that was their mentality.
Okay.
You know, it was a benefit marriage.
Yeah, but I guess it's still quite traditional. Community sometimes can be, but for now, men say no for arranged marriage to his parents, or it depends like on each family?
It depends on the family. So
Yes.
yeah, it just depends.
Okay.
Some people can say no, and then the parents will be like, no, you have to marry this person. Or some will be like, okay, we'll respect your no, we'll find someone else, or you can find
Alright.
someone else and you can bring the person and
Okay.
whatever.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, what would you do if you ever be in a situation like this? Like if your parents say to you, no, you have to do that.
I don't know, to be honest.
Would you
never been in
marry? Would you marry someone?
No, I wouldn't. But the funny thing is, my family know that I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
And they honestly know it, and even they know that even if they know that I was going to do something but they've told me to do it anyway, they know that I wouldn't do it because I'm a bit stubborn.
You're independent.
And
woman.
I'm independent. I'm an independent woman.
That's
so.
a good well, British-Pakistani independent woman. Okay, yeah, let's wrap up and finish. Thank you very much for your conversation and for your time. I hope to see you soon, and thanks everyone for joining and listening. I see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Birleşerler derize артында Сәхибҗамал тиздән китәр Уфага 6 ел бар әле инкыйлабка Газиз һәм хатыны Рабига очраштылар рәхмәт театрга әтисе кызны кабул итәр Газиз укый